Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming in for a video. We're doing an A-lister show today, and it's not going to be a very long show. I usually try to keep it around 30 minutes, but I do want to discuss a couple topics that have come up in my chats and in my private emails and all of that. People sometimes ask me questions about reselling, and that's what the show is about here on A-lister, because though we talk about thrift hauls and jewelry all week long, on Sunday, the start of the week, we do like to talk about reselling and how we can monetize, how we can get others to appreciate what we have found at our haunts, thrifting, garage sales, estate sales, of course, Goodwill and Salvation Army and all those wonderful places we may have access to. That's a really, really important part of the tenets of selling, which is always, of course, as you know, not only do you have to have a good product, you have to have a good price, you have to invest in the right area. That means your platform these days. Back in early days of retail, I guess you could say something that was a top shelf item would be at the eye level where you could quickly grab it, or it would be considered prestigious and you would want to buy it for that reason. So that's kind of the term today, refers to the platform. Not only that, but your promotion is very important as well. And the promotion is how well, in my opinion, promotion is not so much you paying eBay an extra fee to move you up on that algorithm. To me, the promotion is how you actually merchandise that item, how you set it, how you put it in a, what is it? I guess it's merchandise. Staging, that was the word I was alluding to. Staging is very important. And that's kind of where your expertise will come in, your experience. And if you don't have experience, you will get experience. The more you do it, the better you get it. I've started to take another medication for my bronchitis. So if I sound a little jittery or rushed, it's because of that. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I do want your input as well, guys. It's really important that you in the chat, let us know what your philosophies are about that. If you do watch this on the rerun or the replay, be sure and give us your professional opinion. Hey, Miss Patsy Craftsy, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I've sent you some emails. I'm going to say hello as well, because I think I got a wrong invoice from you. I know I have purchased one thing from you before, and that was a month ago, and I've already been received that and all of that. So I don't know what happened, but I've got an invoice for a grab bag. I should take advantage of it because it's a really good price, but it may not be mine, and that may not even be you, but I was thinking it was because I recognize the name. All right, let's see who else is here. It looks like Kelly's here. How are you, Kelly? Good to see you. Beth, Teresa, Robert Richardson, Sandra, as well as Tammy and Patsy. I'm so glad you're here. Bienvenida, always. Tammy, I appreciate that very much. So I was thinking about prices because, again, the emails that I've been getting, but also because people ask me, how do you know what to start a price at? I've even had people ask me, about auctions, what should I start this at? And I always give my honest opinion, even if I really love it, and I could easily say, well, start it really low because I want it. But I want to be honest with everyone that I know and tell them the truth, that this is a valuable piece of jewelry. It may not be the most expensive gem, but it may be a designer. It may be a rarity, a stone that you don't see very often. So I will always say, don't start at less than 50 or whatever it is that I may opine about that. Turquoise jewelry as well is so iffy, guys, because they have the Thailand, they have the Native American. To me, and in my opinion, the best selling, the more desirable is always Native American, especially the vintage variety, where those stones are becoming rarer and rarer from those mines that have closed or have been exhausted. Same thing with coral. So you always in mind, don't try to say, for your own sake, don't try to say that an item is possibly Native American, or that, because it happens to be sold at a department store, it's in any way comparable to Native American, because it's not. It is a Native American artisan. But for example, Bars made in Thailand, and it's a very, very well-made brand. I'm not going to take that away from them compared to Native American. pieces. As a matter of fact, one of my astute subscribers alerted me to the fact that some of their pieces are actually, I forgot what the word she said was, but I think it's where they layer more pieces of substandard turquoise on top of other turquoise, and really enhanced, and a lot of fine jewelry is enhanced to decide what you want to price things at. Again, rarity, for example, we all know about the beautiful enamel brooches that a lot of people were coveting, especially a couple of years ago. People were really coveting these. They were making bridal bouquets out of them. Actually, bridal bouquet, I don't know if I've ever shared that picture with all of you, but I will one day. And so people were really buying up at high dollar, and even the thrift stores were for $15 and $20. But now these have kind of become commonplace in the resale market and in the thrift store. And even they've marked them down. They were marking them $10. Now I see them around $5. But this one was so unique because it's signed. I believe it's cast in bronze. And it's just very, very different with it being a cutout. So to me, this one is more valuable than this one. Whereas I might put $15 on this one, I would probably put this one at $25 if I were to have it on Etsy. Now this sold to a last night in my auction. And that's another thing. That's the placement there. An auction, you don't want to scare your buyers away. You don't want to start out with a $24 bid and scare everyone away that way. So it's all depending on where you are going to sell this, your platform. And the same thing at your online platforms. People on Mercari really are looking for bargains. They are hunting, scouring for a bargain. They sell a lot of James Avery there, and really quickly, but they don't want to pay what someone on Poshmark is selling it for, and then put a tag on another shipping, another whatever it is. I think they have cheaper shipping now. I think they do on Mercari, but there's a lot of things that play into that where that price is just going to go up and up and up. So you have to bear that in mind always. Where am I selling this? Who is the customer? Is it a lowballing customer? Or is it a platform where people tend to lowball you? And that can happen. I don't see it so much on Mercari anymore. And now Mercari has a stipulation. Hey, Jude, how are you? Where you actually cannot go below a certain percentage. I don't know if it's below 15 or something, but it used to be that you could go as low as you wanted to go. And sometimes they were accepted, and sometimes people would block you. Don't do that again, or they put it very in their intro, do not lowball me or I will block you. So things like that, people can be insulted. I don't know. Those kinds of safeguards have already been added to Mercari, but keep that in mind yourself. When you price something, they want a bargain. So 10% more than you would actually at your lowest point take when you go on Mercari or even Poshmark. Let me see. Face. I don't know what that's about, guys. Thanks for taking care of the trolls, if there's any. I do appreciate, but that's kind of what I wanted to bring about today. And of course, the way you present things. But back to the all right. Here's one that I believe is a Native American. It's got a lot of hallmarks of a Native American piece, including the slashes on it, the weight of it. Here's one from China. It's not closed. It's open. So you look at all of that and you decide for yourself, what is that worth? Of course, we all know the desirability of James Avery. This is a bracelet, leather. This is a bracelet with sterling and leather as well. This is not James Avery. It's not as heavy as this one is as well, but it's still a very, very nice piece. But I wouldn't even think of comparing them in price, because this is some, and even though this is not actually retired, they still sell this one, I believe, at the store, but a more desirable brand. Same thing with Tiffany. You're always going to consider the brands before you consider the design and weight and value of the silver itself. That's what you're always going to look for. But you can turn that kind of thing around as well. For example, this handbag. nothing really spectacular about this bag. It's very rudimentary. Um, the, I don't know, very just simple, no glazing on it to set it off. But it's got a unique look to it. It's got a design. It looks handcrafted. So I would take that and I would run with it. And instead of thinking to myself, "Oh, that is so plain and so weird and so, it looks like someone who's just learning leather shop made it," right? I would play it up, and I would put a nice little blurb about it in the listing. I would talk about how thick and durable it is, the uniqueness, the unique color, the craftsmanship about it. All of that you can have it work for you as well. So even though this is not of Dooney and Burke, which has a reputation already established, you can still have someone desire something depending on the wordage that you use, the verbiage that you use, the qualities that you bring out, the thick, fabulous leather, the durability that would obviously be had with this type of a piece. That all can work for you as well. I had a video about Native American earrings that I had some long quills on them. They were porcupine quills. Yes, I did. And that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that, because I don't know everything. Of course not. Nobody does. I had some Native American earrings on, was it Poshmark? And one of my subscriber, actually, Gianna's Native American, and she very kindly told me, "You have those earrings priced very low. Those are handcrafted earrings." I couldn't read the signature. First of all, I could not read. They were hand signed and they were beautiful. But when she told that, and then when I saw the work that she did, and she does have a video content, she is a content creator here. She does videos here on YouTube. And when I saw the work, intricacy, and the time consumption, and the artistry and the beauty of beadwork, and she told me that it's so really ironic that I had them selling for, I believe, $15, or with the pricing of the taxes and all that stuff. And she said that type of work is worth so much more than what you have them priced at. So I immediately went and changed the price, and it took about another week, but they sold at the higher price. Unbelievable, but true. And again, there's perceived value in that and all of that. You have something priced too cheaply, people will think it's not of good quality, and they do have second thoughts about that. But most definitely, that is something you have to always consider, is the quality of the piece, the hand craftsmanship, the design. Like I said, the Dooney and Burke that I sold last night at my auction. This is a beautiful bag, and this bag could have been listed for over $100 on eBay, but I wasn't putting it on eBay. I was doing it at an auction, and I want my auction to be, I want people to look forward to what I bring. So that's the reason I didn't start it at $100. And again, this has a reputation already. I could have started it higher, but what am I going to do if I start it too high? I may scare away buyers, right? But on eBay, it's a rarity. You don't see that color. You don't see that condition. It's another thing you always must bear in mind, is the condition of your items. It doesn't matter if someone else has the exact same bag, but if you open it up and it smells like cigarettes, or it's got ink pen stains and things like that, your item is going to be worth a lot more. So always do that. Not only look on your comps on eBay to see, well, what is someone else selling theirs for? But look at the condition. Look at every single picture. Don't just say, "Oh, well, gosh, they're selling theirs for $200. But look, it looks like it just came out of the store. And mine looks like it, been in storage for 20 years, because that is a over 20-year-old bag. So that's the kind of thing you need to look at as well. And back to the silver. And I don't want to leave you with the thought that things are not worthy, because they are. There are, said before, many of the designers like Lagos and John Hardy, they do produce their items in Thailand, and by very, very talented artisans. This one's not, but I can see the quality in this bracelet just by the weight on it. It is a Thai piece, and it's wonderful. This is who is this? David Yer. And I would have passed this up because it didn't look special to me. It didn't look special to me, and I have others Mexico that were just as nice. Of course, this one has gold down the middle. But if it didn't have those two initials on it, it's a David Yurman, I would have sold it for, $40. Where this way, if it was all silver, it'd be $40, with it being gold a little bit more. But my point is that, you always want to look for not only the designer, but the desirability of that designer, because designers lose their flame. They flame out. They burn out. For example, Kate Spade were very, very hot right after her passing. They have waned. They are not selling like they did that first month that everybody wanted a piece of her beautiful artistry. That's no longer the case. You've got to strike while the iron is hot, or whatever that saying is, because you'll lose it. And that happened with Kate. That happens on Amazon with books. When what is that young lady, that lady from Star Wars, Carrie Fisher, her book Letters from the Edge, I believe it is. Well, I had a couple of copies of those, and they went up. They skyrocketed to like $80 that first month that she had passed, after passing. Now I'm away at $5. So you just always have to be abreast of that, of trends coming and going. They're not stagnant. They don't stay. Kate is not as hot as she was in resale market. She was a month or two after she passed. I have a wonderful David Bowie watch. I should have sold it the year that he passed. I didn't. It may not be worth what it could have been worth then. And all of that plays into your pricing philosophy. You guys, let me know what you think about that. How do you price something? Let's say you pick out a necklace like this one that is sterling silver or genuine pearl. I had my suspicions about it being a diamond. It is a diamond. I cannot read the signature. It has a signature, which leads me to believe it could be a designer. What would you do if you were faced with that? Would you keep researching? Would you just do it at face value, what a pearl and a diamond are worth? Is sterling silver and not gold? What are your thoughts on that? And thank you again, guys, for being here. I truly, truly appreciate it. Yeah, pricing is definitely very, very tricky. And again, it comes down to, do you want to wait around? Do you want to wait around to sell that ruby ring that you know is worth $2,000, but no one wants to pay you $2,000? It's interesting though. I've been watching a lot of people that do the higher end bags, and very, very interesting about this absolute holy grail bag that I would never touch, probably even in a dream, which is the Hermes, the Kelly bags and the Birkins, right? Well, they have a philosophy there. They have a struggle, these women that pick them up, because you have to spend so much money at the store in order to even be able to waiting list to buy a bag that is over $15,000. Small ones are over $15,000. So she was talking about, one lady I was watching, about the resale market with these high-end bags. And she was saying how they go up in price in the resale market because people don't want to wait around to spend so much at the store. But then they wind up thinking made a few mistakes, she said, that she bought the bag resale. She could have bought it brand new if she had spent that amount of money and a little bit more at the store. It's just crazy how different things, people have to follow different strategies for that, but it works in a lot of things. And I think it probably works the same way with fine jewelry or other things. It's like classic cars you have to pay up if you want those beautiful classic cars. But as far as back down to earth here on eBay, what is your philosophy about pricing things on eBay or Poshmark? Do you think there's a real big difference between Poshmark and eBay and Mercari and Etsy? A lot of people think there is. There can be, but in vintage, I really think that, yeah, often you can get more on Etsy, but often it's the same on eBay, because again, it depends. If it's let's say a piece of, who is that? Haskell. Let's say some really, really wonderful earrings from Haskell. They're very rare. She maybe just produced a few of them. And I think really, I don't see how you would make a big distinction between selling them on Etsy and selling them on eBay. I really think they would garner the same amount of money, because the same people that are hunting for that piece are hunting for them on all platforms. I know I do that with James Avery when I'm still looking for a charm that has the old-fashioned roller skates, and they're up in the hundreds. And everywhere I look, hundreds. I can't get below $100. I look on Etsy, I look on eBay, I look on Mercari. So everybody knows that charm is really, really hard, and they're pricing it at $100. Now, if it was me and I had that charm and I wanted to sell it, again, you got to think for yourself. What would you do? Hey, Michelle and Perla, thanks for being here. I do. This is what I do. I would go in at dollars, and I would sell mine. I don't like to sit on my jewelry. I don't like to sit on my items. That's just me. And I don't really think I'm lowering the price. Maybe if it was on Amazon or elsewhere, kind of things, are you have to. They always ask you, do you want to compare with the lowest price? But I don't know. That's just the way I see things on eBay and Etsy and everywhere else. And I've done it. I've done it with my Tiffany pieces. I'll go in, I'll lower it by maybe $20. And people are really, really happy to save $20, even $15, when everyone else is selling that charm for $120. And I always feel like you kind of make it up on another item, especially with things like the James Avery charms, because there are some that are rare. There are some that are not so rare. I've bought some for $30. I'm looking and I'm finding them. I sell them on Poshmark for maybe not $120, but $100, and I still made money. And that buyer or that seller still got what she wanted to sell it. She probably wanted to clear out all her charms from her bracelet, like my daughter did. Start a new theme, or maybe she outgrew the bracelet, didn't want to, it may have held sentiment from another relationship or something. So whatever works. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with you today, about bags, all kinds of bags, not just, like I said, that really, I'm going to play it up when I list it. There's some vegan bags that are just as beautiful. I showed yesterday in my haul one that looks just like the epi leather. Now, I'm not going to say it's the epi leather. I'm not going to exaggerate about it. I'm just going to talk about the fashion aesthetic that it holds, the look that it holds. And I will possibly try to get my daughter to model it for me, or I will put it against a backdrop of some other clothing, and I will pump it up. Person wants that item will be comfortable and will be so happy to buy a $20 instead of a $2,000 bag. And this is why I constantly am thinking about paparazzi and about how they sell $5 jewelry, because not everybody has $200 to buy a necklace that has a sapphire and is sterling, or that has a designer name on it. But they like to look good too. They like to look nice. It may last a year. It may not last forever. But that philosophy is there for a reason. It's a mass market that wants to look good, and they don't have the money to spend on sterling silver jewelry or designer jewelry, even things like Kendra Scott, Alexis Bertard. Those are not even fine metals, yet the name gives it that prestige, and they're selling you costume jewelry for $200. Okay, and so either you want to spend $200 on a costume piece, or you want to go to an eBay and find a beautiful sterling piece for $40, or you want something nice you want some really pretty little flash, and you're spending $5 every time you buy from paparazzi. And the people that are selling it are making some really good money on it too, because they know their market. I think I'm unplugged. They know their market, and like Jude was mentioning the other day, once they open that wallet, to pay you $5, they're going to keep buying and buying and buying. And it's the same thing on eBay. You do get followers on eBay. If they like prices, like I've told you many times, I have my sellers on there because he price things. He prices them to move them, and it works for him and it works for me. Also, be very cognizant that there are a lot of apps out there besides eBay. They're WorthPoint. I think you pay a fee. I was actually offered I think, a 30-day trial to do a video about them, but I never took them up on the offer. And I should have, because I know that Tanya over at Thrifty Treasures, she uses it a lot. I don't know if she has her own subscription. She shares it with someone, but she just recently talked about some earrings that she sold, and she paid $2 at a garage sale. I've never heard of the name. It was a costume piece made in Paris, but it was a costume jewelry. And she talked about it in a recent show. You guys may have caught it. And she sold hers for like $179. Incredible. But I'm sure what led her to research is the fact that they were signed. The fact that they were not only signed with the artisan, but they had Paris on them. If you see something that says Italy and Paris, you know, people really are always looking for that. Hi, Glam Kitty. How are you? Let me say hello to a couple more people, guys, and I'm going to probably get off in a few minutes. Thank you guys so much for putting that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Beth, I don't know if I said hello to you. I appreciate you being here. Denise as well. And if you guys have any questions, now's the time to drop them in the chat before I sign off, because all I was going to talk about. Definitely do some research initially on eBay. Go to comps. If you don't know how to use that, guys, it's very easier on the phone. To get the eBay app, get on the phone. When you want to, let's say you're at the Goodwill, right? And you see this necklace and it says, let's say it said Laura on it or something. And I kind of tell it's 925. So I just really quickly put the little, what is it? The little search button. I would put pearl, Laura, necklace. It would come up, and then I would sort, and I would, I don't know, there's filters. There's two filters. One will filter whether they have sold. So that way you know how much one of them sold for, or how many of them have been selling at a certain price. Then you can just do the ones that are listed. And then you can even go back and put highest to lowest. So you can know what is the highest pearl necklace sold on eBay recently. And that way you have that, right? But then there's WorthPoint. There's also Google. There's Google Image, where you can go to the shopping part where it actually says what people are selling it for too. And that usually takes you to Etsy or what's the other one? Trade C, or those other like kind of places that will really help you as well. If you can't afford the WorthPoint, and if you're doing that much business on, why not pay whatever it is that they charge? I don't know, but they charge a monthly fee for it. But if this is your livelihood and it is part of your business, these are all things that you could probably write off as well. So definitely do that investigation that way. It's really important, but it's not just what they're selling for, also what they're listed for. Because somebody could have put it on auction. Maybe it started at 2 in the morning. At 2 in the morning when it ended, nobody. So they bought it really cheap. But what is someone else trying to sell? Or maybe they're trying to sell this $2,000. It's not worth $2,000, but you can put up any price you want up there, right? And that's another thing. What do you think that certain thing is worth? If I think this little cute mug that says Boo and Hocus Pocus is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I want to put $25 on it, maybe it only cost $1. Dollar Tree, it didn't, but you know, maybe it did. But if you want to put $25 on it, all it takes is somebody else to agree with you, and they're going to buy it. And speaking of, she started selling mugs as well from the Dollar Tree. It was one of her first forays into eBay, she said. And I have as well. I have found Frozen things, the movie Frozen, when it first came out. I was talking to my son on the phone, and I was at the Dollar Tree, and he said, look for Frozen things. It's the hottest movie coming out. So those they were like little Tupperware things that had the Frozen sticker on a little girl on it, Anna and her, whatever, Elsa. Those things sold on Amazon for like $20 a piece for like half a year. And then they stopped selling, and I gave the rest away. But it's crazy. You just got to be right there looking, searching all the time. Remember, that's what the internet's for, guys. Some of that stuff. Don't spend too much time researching. Go with your gut many times. But again, when things are signed, you know, they garner more money. Let me see if I got any questions. What do you mean by a dupe? I'm not sure. You have to explain that to me. I know what a dupe means, but in what are you referring to? Dupe of what? I hope you're not referring to knockoffs or counterfeits. But I'm asking. Yes, the world is fabulous, and I can't make up I cannot for the life of me make out the signature, and I have an interested buyer, but I really need to make it out. But yeah, when something is signed, do look it up. I have another ceramic necklace that sells in the hundreds, and it's signed. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is. It's just ceramic. It's beautiful. It's bright, but it sells in the hundreds. That designer, people want his work or her work. You're referring to counterfeits? Yes, counterfeits. I detest them in every way, shape, and form. I think they're blatant robbery. I really do. I think, like I said, my dream bag, or it's not even my dream bag. I really don't even find the bag that aesthetically pleasing. But Birkin is a very, very popular bag, and people are willing to pay even $2,000 for a fake. In my opinion, even Chanel, I can't afford a Chanel. I don't think I would ever want to spend, what is it? I think they're about $8,000 for tiny something. I would never think of carrying a fake. To me, it would make me feel fake. I would never ever think about doing that. And not only that, it is stealing from the creator. That is a licensed product. That is their artistry, their work, and then for someone to come and just slap that name on there, again, I don't care if it's a Dooney and Burke fake or a Chanel fake or Ray-Ban fakes or Lego. I think it's robbery. So that's about it. Copies, no. Replicas, no. They're all very, very nice euphemisms for one word, and that's counterfeit. And that's just the way I feel about it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Let me know if there's any other topics you want to discuss in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Get to hit the thumbs up on your way out if you didn't do it on the way in. I certainly appreciate you being here. I will do another unjarring very soon. I will probably do a live Goodwill Thrift with me this week. So I hope you stay tuned for that. And I appreciate you very much. Have a wonderful week, guys.